All right, welcome to the next episode of ERT. I'm Derrick.
And I'm Kara.
So, today we're just going to jump right into it. We're going to talk about Kennywood. Kennywood just had their opening day on April 22nd, and we got to go and check it out.
It was wonderful.
Other than the weather. I mean, the weather was okay. It started off rainy, and then it rained a little bit more here and there, and then the sun sort of started coming out, and now it's, I guess, we're recording on that same day, and it's actually getting cloudy and sort of raining out again. But nonetheless, it was enough to make it through the day, and we still had a good time.
I would say we didn't freeze to death. It was in like the upper 50s. Still chilly, though.
Yeah, there was a couple of moments where it was a little on the chillier side just because of the rain or whatnot. But
it didn't matter because we were back at Kennywood.
Yeah. So let's just jump right in. Let's talk about the things that we're excited about, and you know what? Let's just jump right into the negatives because I really only have one thing, and that's the only reason why I'm bringing it up because I only have one thing, and it's a minor whatever. Security is great as there's a lot of security presence there at the park. There's a dog. There's police officers. We even saw two people getting carried or escorted out of the park in handcuffs. So I don't know what happened there, but two people were arrested, and there was like 4 or 5 cops along with them.
There's a whole group of them.
Yes. But is actually the process of getting into the park. They kind of like funnel everybody through those arches, just going into their I don't know, their
main gate.
Yeah, the main gate. The magnetics. What I'm referring to, like the security. Not the
metal
X-ray.
detector?
Yeah, the metal detectors or whatever.
Machine.
Yeah, the X-ray machines that we like to fry everybody
just
with
in case
radiation.
anyone has a broken bone or
Yeah, but when you go through, then you have to check your bag. But there seem to be a decent amount of people that check your bags, and then it kind of gets bottlenecked. They separate into both sides, but it wasn't moving fast enough, so it was backing up the line for people that just needed to walk through. But other than that,
speaking of the bags, they do have a new bag policy.
I think it's a little bit different than even what we thought it was like 3 or 4 weeks ago. Because I saw people with backpacks and stuff.
As long as it is smaller than a 12 by 12.
Okay, so that encompassed everything. So not just like a cooler. It was any kind of bag.
Any kind of bag, as long as it is smaller than a 12 by 12 and all of your stuff fits into that container, you can bring it in. That was my interpretation.
Yeah, and they were
anyways.
thoroughly checking it. But other than that, like I said, it was just a little bit. Again, this is the first day. It's going to be a little bit clumsy, which is we obviously experienced that throughout the park, and that's totally expected because people are either brand new, they're learning new systems. And that's kind of like really what this day is. It's almost like a trial run for the park. So, I mean, you should expect that. So I know I heard a couple people complain. They're like, oh, not all the rides are open. I'm like, it's the opening day. I thought everything else went pretty well. I was pretty happy.
So you're just saying that they're like when they push people through the metal detectors and then funnel people off to the sides,
it's too tight.
Problem.
I feel like it's just too tight of a spot there where you go through security. And then it's like you feel like you're all like claustrophobic in there, even to get into the booth, if you know what I mean. Because there's really not much space in between where you walk through the archway and to where the ticket booths are.
Well, right, because that's not how it was originally designed.
No, because most parks, you go like, okay, I'm just gonna use like Cedar Point, Kings Island, Kings Dominion, or whatever. You go through a security checkpoint. Well, I guess King Dominion, I think you go to the security checkpoint at the same point as you go through your the turnstiles, but some of those other parks, you do the security checkpoint like a good 400 feet, 300 feet or whatever, a couple hundred feet away from the gate. So there's plenty of space in there for you to move to get yourself, situated or whatnot. So this is like, you go through that security checkpoint, you got to check your bag, and you have it feels like 10 feet in front of you, and then it's just really crowded and get really crowded and bottlenecked. But I'm assuming if you go later in the day, it's really not an issue. It's just that first the initial opening of the park where there might be a lot of people waiting to get in. It can get
well, right. And today was opening day.
Yes.
So even though it was cold and drainy, cold and rainy, there was a lot of people there.
But like I said, that was my only complaint, and that seems like a kind of a petty one is where I was really getting at. But it's just more of an observance, I would say.
Yeah.
So I just jumped right into it. Right after that, so we went on to Skyrocket. That was fun.
Which was fantastic.
Braylon is 52 inches, so she was able to ride it for the first time, and she was a little hesitant, but she loved it. And I think she said it's her new favorite coaster, or one of her favorite coasters.
She wanted to ride it again, but the line was pretty long.
Yeah, and then the ride actually broke down. Me and Braylon were on it, and we got stuck on the brake run for, it was 5-10 minutes?
Yeah,
I can't remember.
That long.
It wasn't super long, but they are trying to get the other train moved out of the station so they can move us in. But And then obviously we walked over to Spinvasion. We saw the construction.
From there we walked over there.
They had the ride is installed, the light package is installed, which it looks a lot better than what I was expecting. I think it looks very nice. I'm pretty excited to see what it looks like in the evening. It's gonna look good.
It's gonna look good. I'm very excited to ride it.
Yeah, that whole area looks a lot better. It's a very more welcoming, for sure.
Well, yeah, and it's cohesive. It kind of flows. There's still definitely some stuff that they haven't installed yet. Like, that area is definitely not complete. They haven't put up the alien who stands on a pedestal. The gift shop is open, but there's definitely other things that they'll be adding, I think, before Memorial Day.
Well, it was pretty obvious across the park that they were still doing some final touches on some things. Like, some of the buildings, I think, were missing some signs, or the sausage / ice cream pagoda or whatever. I don't think that was completed. The renderings, they showed it more of like a light blue, but now it's more of like a dark blue, which I think it looks better.
It looks really good.
Yeah, it looks
it's definitely
nice,
missing its like
signs and stuff.
though.
Like I was saying, yeah, a lot of like signage, I think, was what was kind of missing.
From there, we went over and rode Phantom.
Yeah, so yeah, we got on Phantom. I don't know if this is something they're going to do, because, okay, they sort of did this last year, but they are being a little bit more strict on their... they had assigned seating, assigned rows, I guess, or whatever. So they were directing people to each row. And it was a lot more efficient, because anybody who's been to Kennywood, been on Phantom's Revenge, you know that station can get very chaotic in there, because there's just a lot of space for people to just get crammed in there and trying to figure out which row. And there's like 15 people waiting in the back. And then there's like that one random row that nobody can see or get to because everybody's blocking it, and realize that there's like 2 empty rows. So yeah, it was pretty efficient in that sense. And operations was going very smoothly. Like, they were sending those trains, even though they had one train, they were sending it out pretty quick.
I say they only had one train on the track, but they were calling out their times, their dispatch times, as each train would roll out of the station. They would say like, "Okay, 47 seconds. We can do a little better, guys."
It was like 46.5 the one time, yeah. And I will say that's another thing I would say across the board is I never felt like anything was short-staffed. There was a lot of staff everywhere, especially on the rides. Like, if this is the sign up for the rest of the year, I'm really excited, because it felt like this. I mean, the staff seemed eager. They were on point, especially all the ride ops. Yeah. So
everybody was friendly. Everybody was happy.
Yeah.
It was good.
And then I'm not really per se going in any particular order, but then also we did check out Swing Shot, since that's right over by Phantom's Revenge, and they have the new paint job on that, and that looks very nice. They didn't touch the actual cars and the seats. They are still the same. So they look a little old when everything else looks sort of like brand new. But other than that, I mean, I think it looks nice. It looks a lot better than what it did before.
It's very clean.
Yeah. That's the biggest thing you could say across the board. A lot of stuff looks clean and freshened up, painted. Like in Kittyland, they have like these clowns that go over top of some of the garbage cans. And I guess they've always been there, which I think I remember, because I always remember like the lion and stuff in the back that you can put.
He's iconic.
But these clowns have been like cleaned up. They look like newly painted or whatever, and they stick out more. I'm like, are those brand new or something? But I don't think they are. But yeah, that's just the song and dance for the whole park, because a lot of thing has fresh new coat of paint, more or less. More so than in the past. Well,
I mean, a lot of things got a new coat of paint last year. This is the end of their 2-year like refresh project.
Yeah. Well,
she called
allegedly, unless they have more, because if they might have more. I mean, they might do some more. I'm sure.
I'm sure they'll still do more.
Yeah, I think this is just.
Tasha had a specific name for the project that started last season.
It's part of their Project 125 or
something like that, and to like really make the park.
Yes.
Shiny and feel new and clean.
For sure.
It looked good.
Yes, definitely. So yeah, we got to go check out the Pizza Warehouse and the coffee shop. So Pizza Warehouse, you like the food?
It was fantastic.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, I had the pizza, she had the sandwich. I mean, it's like typical theme park food, but I thought it was a little bit of a step up. The price I thought was reasonably priced, especially with we have a season pass discount. So, yeah, I mean, I didn't see any complaints on that aspect. The pizza was fine. It was cooked fresh. The fries were fresh.
They were good.
They weren't like they're not their traditional like potato patch fries style. These are more, I don't know, we'd say more restaurant style, I guess you could say. I don't know. But I thought they were pretty good.
They were seasoned. It was good.
It was perfect. I thought they were like perfectly seasoned. Perfectly seasoned. And then the coffee shop, was still working out the kinks and bugs or whatever which is, I mean, expected. Like that's another one where we're saying like signage and whatnot. Like they didn't have signs on the doors and whatnot. It was just like there. Like it was almost kind of like the teaser maybe for the year. But they have the coffee. They didn't have all the coffee selection available. But I think it's gonna be like your more typical fare with like Frappuccino style drinks or like blended drinks or ice drinks and other whatnot.
One of the things we didn't realize about the coffee shop was they don't just have coffee. They also have fresh cookies and fresh donuts made locally that you can purchase.
Locally as in Latrobe, which is a little farther away. It's
and
like
Homestead,
50 minutes.
the
but
cookies that said were from Homestead.
Oh, they did? Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like when we say homemade, these were actually really decent donuts. Because I bought, I bought one for all of us because I was like, well, I got to try it. But yeah, I was pleasantly surprised. This was not like, it didn't taste like, oh, it's been sitting, in storage for like weeks or whatever. It tasted rather fresh.
They had that homemade.
Yeah, I don't know, like,
taste.
Or like the bakery type, not like the manufactured Dunkin' Donuts donut. This was like the, you go to like a specialty bakery and they make you like the quote unquote real donut, I guess what you'd say. So,
they were really good.
Yeah, so we're totally hyping donuts on the show, but yeah, they were good.
They were so good. Well, and I didn't expect to walk in and actually see donuts, so I was surprised.
Yeah.
Oh, and if you go to Kennywood while they still have their like decade signs up, look on the 2000 to present sign and see if you recognize anyone on the sign.
Me. And it's bonus if you can recognize the other person next to me. So I'm in the photo and my friend Jonathan Rampaging Rex, he is in the photo as well. So he's actually the one that pointed it out. And I was like, oh, wait, that's that photo from the inaugurational day for Steel Curtain. So, yeah. But, I mean, all in all, I think it was a good opening day. I think there's a lot of promise for this year at Kennywood. I'm pretty excited. The kids obviously gotten a little bigger. Braylon can ride Skyrocket. She can ride Lightning. Lightning. I was going to say Lightning Rod. What am I talking about? Thunderbolt. She can technically ride Steel Curtain, right? That's 52 inches.
I believe.
Yeah, I think it was.
She can ride Black Widow too, but Black Widow wasn't open.
Yeah.
Either.
Well, yeah, neither was Steel Curtain. I mean, I think that's just tradition now. It just won't open on opening day.
Leander is 42 inches.
Yes, and he rode. We convinced him, but he got in the Kangaroo, and I think that became his new favorite ride because he rode it 4 times in a row. So he likes that. He likes Turtle, and he likes the Whip.
So being 42 inches, he is tall enough to ride Jackrabbit, but we'll see if we can convince him to ride Jackrabbit.
Yeah, I mean, he really liked Kangaroo, so I think he would like Jackrabbit. But
I think he would too. It's just convincing him to get on the ride.
And in the beginning of the day, the park was so dead. They were over in Kittyland, and they were literally like the 2 kids that were riding the only rides because they were like there was like them and like literally maybe 3 other kids in that section. So they rode pretty much every ride by themselves. It was pretty hilarious, but.
The park did get busier as the day went on.
As the day got a little nicer, and as by the time we were pretty much ready to walk out, the park was actually starting to get a little bit. It wasn't super busy, but it was definitely starting to get a little bit more packed, which is nice. I mean, when we were walking out, there was a lot of people waiting to process their season pass.
Oh, the season pass line was.
Yeah, that was like I don't want to be in that line.
It was very long.
Yeah. Glad we took care of that last year. But so, well, I mean, I think that's pretty much for Kennywood. We're going to roll right in and talk about our next discussion or whatever you want to say, a topic. Kind of like a overview of what we actually have planned this year. So if you're watching this video, hopefully you're watching this video on Wednesday, which would be the 26th. Hopefully, if I get my word. If not, we'll cut this whole part out.
No, that's correct.
Wednesday the 26th, I'm saying hopefully I get this video done by then. But anyways, we're going to be going to Busch Gardens, Williamsburg for a week. And as I say we, I mean more like Kara and the kids and her mom. I'll be there for a couple days. And I think I actually might go to King's Dominion on Saturday. So I'll only be there for a few hours. And I think that's the plan. I think it'll be me and Braylon. But yeah, holler at me if you see me or whatnot. But yeah, we'll be at Busch Gardens for a couple of days. And then a few weeks later, we're going to do our big trip. So it's at the end of May. We're going to go start at Dollywood for a day, hopefully to ride Big Bear Mountain. All the signs are pointing that the ride should be open by then, hopefully. And then we're going to go check out Air Force One. We're really excited to check that ride out. I think it looks amazing. And then we're going to go to, first time ever, to Six Flags over Georgia. It's been on my list for quite a while, so I'm excited to get there. I'm really looking forward to Goliath and obviously Twisted Cyclone. I always there's way too many of those mixtures of those RMC coasters. But I'm just excited to get to that park. I've always heard a lot of good things. Like there's a lot of like, it's all under the trees. It's a lot more shaded. Some decent quality. I guess they have some like dark rides there too, that I'd be interested to check out. But yeah, so we'll be there for a day. And then we're going to go down to Florida and we're going to go to Epcot. We'll spend a day at Epcot at Disney. And then we're going to go to SeaWorld Orlando and check out Pipeline, the surf coaster, right? That's what it's called. Pipeline, the surf coaster is the full name. So, well, yeah, all the signs are pointing to that will be open by then as well. They're saying a May opening. So I'm expecting that one to be open as well. I mean, we'll literally be there on, I think, June 1st. So I would hope it would be open if it said opening in May and we're there in June. So, but anyways, and we're also going to hit a couple water parks. We're going to go to Aquatica. We have been there before. But then we're also going to go to Adventure Island, which is a water park adjacent to Busch Gardens Tampa. The kids love water parks, so this is kind of like a relaxed day in between the theme parks. And then we're going to go visit Busch Gardens Tampa again. I'm excited to go check out some more Iron Gwazi's and the other roller coasters. And we'll be sort of there quasi a day and a half, so which will be nice. We're going to be there in the evening one day at Busch Gardens Tampa because I'd really like to see all the lights and everything on the roller coasters. We've always been at that park, and it's always been like when they closed at like 6 or something like that. So we never really been there that late. And that'll be it for that big trip. So I'm pretty excited. I'm just excited to get out because it's been busy for me, like work-wise and whatnot, trainings and everything else. So I'll be excited to our first break. I mean, a first like time off in a little while because it's been a good 6-7 months I think since I've been taking a day off now. I
feel like it's been even longer than that.
Yeah, it's been since last September because I would have took a couple days off I think at Christmas, but you're all Christmas time, whatever. But we haven't been to any
roller coasters at that point.
Though we did just go to American Dream. We already talked about American Dream, but yeah, we're really excited about this whole trip. I think there's a lot of great new coasters, a lot of new content that'll be coming out of that, and potentially the other news that's happening later after that is hopefully in the fall, like in November, we're going to be heading out to Arizona, California. And we are going to, we're not going to hit a ton of parks because we're going to be kind of visiting my family. And then I think we're going to go to SeaWorld San Diego and Knott's Berry Farm.
It's been a really long time since we've been to California.
Yeah, it's been 10 years. Last time we were there was 2013.
A decade.
Yeah. We had some pretty ambitious plans at first going to California, but my parents are moving out to Arizona, so it's going to kind of open up the access of heading out there more often. So we kind of trimmed down our plans a little bit. But yeah, we'll do SeaWorld San Diego. I'm excited to go check that park out. Knott's Berry Farm. The last time we were there, we did not go there.
We missed it.
Yes. I was also wanting to go to Six Flags Magic Mountain this time, but it just didn't really work out our plans, and I think I need like a good solid 2 days at that park. I would really like to just go check it out, but again, I guess half of me just doesn't want to be disappointed because every time I'm hearing lately, it's like half of the roller coasters are closed, or it's like a roll of the dice which ones are you going to get that are even open. So especially if we're going in November, I don't know if that's like prime season for them. I doubt it. So it's probably going to be, not expecting much. So that's why we're going to hold that park off. And also we did want to go to Universal Studios to check out Legoland, but I think we're putting that in hold temporarily.
Not Legoland.
No, yeah, not Legoland. Nintendo. I'm mixing this all up. Yeah. So Universal Studios for Nintendo. Well, is it Nintendo Land or Nintendo World? Super Mario World?
I don't
Nintendo
know.
Land? I don't know. You're probably all screaming at me that I sound like an idiot. Don't know what I'm talking about. But it looks interesting. Obviously, we just saw a couple weekends ago. We watched the Super Mario movie, anyways, which we all liked. Super Mario Brothers. Yeah, it was great.
It was good.
So yeah, that's it. You got anything else to share?
I don't think so.
No? All right. Well, thanks for watching. And this is Extreme Thrills.